Kevin, an unusual evening for football for AFC Telford. It's been a Monday night at Barwell. It's not been the result you wanted either, a 2-0 defeat. And clearly a lot of disappointment around after that one. What are your thoughts on the performance?
It wasn't good enough. I think we looked lethargic and, clearly we're not concentrating from minute one, and that's my fault. And the lads, I need to lift the lads and get them up there and focused, and our concentration levels to give Barwell an opening penalty like we did so early on is, it's not good enough. I expect better concentration levels from the players. I think they'll expect better out of themselves as well. And coming away from home, second game in 3 days, and like I say, I know it's the same for both sides, no doubt about that. But you can't start in that manner and then, give yourself a hill to climb. There became a bit of a mountain at times there. We found it difficult. Credit to Barwell. They've stuck it away, and that's all the encouragement they needed. And just proved really difficult to break down. And too many of our players tonight that weren't able to recognise and understand in what was required. And I have to take responsibility for that. And we haven't worked it's one of the few games this season where we haven't created any real chances, to be honest. And that's disappointing because most of the rest of the games that we've played in, we have created chances and moments and opportunities and been guilty of not taking them. That's not the case tonight. We're relying on scraps. Took us a long while to get focused, and far too long for us to start to impose ourselves on the game. It was a scrappy game, and I think long periods of the second half where we've had lots of possession of the ball, but we haven't done enough with that possession and haven't worked the target. I don't think we've made the goalkeeper make a save, and that needs to improve. Like I say, there's a few there that have to do better for us, and we'll know they have to do better for us. But like I say, I just can only apologise to the supporters that have travelled and spent good money to follow us tonight, because I and the rest of those guys in that change room feel like we let them down.
Sure. You used the word scrappy there, and it was that was the word I think I had in my head for watching a lot of that, and having got the lead, I guess it suited Barwell for it to be that kind of game, really, because you weren't allowed to get into that kind of passing, moving the ball around, working them around until quite late in the game, really.
Yeah, I think we have to give Barwell credit for that. They have something there to hang on to and get their teeth into and defend like they did and not allow us any chances and moments. You have to give them credit for that, and as a group we need to understand that you can't just turn up at place and think it's just going to drop into place. And I've been in it, like I say, long enough now to understand how difficult every game is to win, and certainly games on the road are difficult to win, and certainly on 3G pitches for us we find difficult, no doubt about that. But that's making excuses. I still expect a better application from certain players out there tonight, and a better understanding from certain players that there's enough experience out there for me to think that, like I say, they understand moments and situations that you find yourself in, and to fall behind so early and then struggle to go and get a foothold. And goals do change games, and they change your mentality. And like I say, with a resilient and stubborn side like Barwell, who competed really well, as well as we did, if not better. Yes, we passed the ball a lot in the second period, but we didn't get into any moments that we really feel were glaring. So yeah, look, we've only got ourselves to blame. It's disappointing, and nobody more disappointed than me. But we have to regroup, understand, learn from it, and make sure that when we get back together again, we look at it and unpick it, and do our best not to make the same mistake again.
Sure. Expectation is a word that we speak around the football club a lot, and there's expectation. In a way, it's almost one of the things that kind of attracts you to a job, really, because it is a club where there's things demanded of you, and it sort of hopefully brings the best from you. But that expectation, you've been winning games, but there is a feeling, I think, among some supporters that, perhaps games should be being won more easily than they are.
Yeah, I'd agree. But sometimes you need to just keep that in perspective. And tonight would be maybe a warning shot from that. You can winning games is the most important thing. Yes, I fully appreciate. It could have looked a little bit more convincing at certain times, but certainly, through all the games that we've played, pretty much now we've created chances and moments when we should have put the game to bed and haven't. That wasn't the case tonight for sure. And I appreciate that there's passions on both sides of the fence. The little moment there at the end where supporters are spending hard-earned money to come and support us and get behind us. There's passion in the stands, which we love and we get. There's passion in that in that changing room as well. And I'm not knocking Kyle. He's a passionate guy that wants to do well and wants to win as much as anybody. And yeah, sometimes it can boil over, and I understand the frustration. And sometimes when you're just able to take a step back and maybe both parties understand each other's position on the situation, when you do try to look at it and as I say, take a step back just to try to understand someone else's position. Perhaps moments like that don't happen quite like that, but we need the passion and we want the passion, and no doubt about it. But it just needs to be channeled in the right way. And as a manager, I need to try and bring those two, both the supporters and the players together, so that we are understanding one another's situations and feelings. And sometimes how it's articulated needs to perhaps be done in a little bit better way. And if it is, then you don't get moments like that. But certainly, we're really appreciative of the people that do follow us and spend hard-earned money to get behind the team, and certainly make no excuses about tonight. That wasn't a good performance and it needs to be better, and that's my responsibility to make it better. We had a good chat in the change room thereafter, and just understanding each and every game. It's difficult to win, and none of them are easy. Yes, we'd like to win in a more comfortable fashion. But look, hopefully we are working towards that, and hopefully, the people in the crowd will see, a channeled level of passion about what we are, and hopefully more comfortable results in the future.
Oh. It's human nature. It's perhaps unrealistic to expect everybody to be on the same page. If you can get the majority of people onto the same page and pulling in the right direction, that's when that's when good things tend to happen. But you can also find those kind of moments. I'm not saying anybody would have wanted to see what we saw here this evening, but sometimes, a bit of conflict emerging can be a spur. That tends to be short term, doesn't it, I think? Yeah,
it does. I think, like I say, I'm as passionate as anybody about it and wanting to win, and players understand where I'm at. And like I say, I've got a big mouth, and I'm always shouting on the sideline and trying to tease the best out of players and keep them concentrated and focused. And I'm passionate about it, and as I say, it's just needs to be channeled in the right way, Rich. That's where I feel it is. We have a responsibility as management, as a manager, as players, to deliver better than we did tonight. I totally get that and understand that, and wouldn't hide away from that. And like I say, it wasn't acceptable. We expect better, and players expect better as well. And it's important that supporters do understand that. There's a lot of disappointment in that changing room, and where we feel, and we're not in the business of letting people down. But sometimes you get results and moments and situations like this. But hopefully, there's enough character in that group to get us on the front foot again, and working hard together to make sure that we're understanding of this and doing our best not to let this sort of result happen. Yeah, again. Sure. After 2 games in quick succession, no game on Saturday now. I gather there were some talks about potentially a game taking place, but there was some logistical issues around that, which meant that's not been able to happen, unfortunately. That means your next game is FA Trophy, third qualifying round a week on Saturday, and you've got quite a long time ahead of that one to work with the group. What's the plan? Yeah, so we'll get together again this week, and like I say, unpick what happened tonight, where we need to do better. I think it's pretty evident to most. So yeah, look, we'll have a look at it, reflect on why we were poor tonight, and like I say, pick it up and make sure they're on the front foot and smiling again come the next session on the field. It's important that we don't get too low over tonight. It's disappointing. We have to take a medicine, deal with it, and make sure that we're, like I say, smiling again when we next regroup. And it's important that we use this time between now and the Cleethorpes game to, like I say, try to improve and lift one another.
Kevin, we appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thank you.